It's all about entertainment. It is Friday, and it's good to have you as we look forward to a great and incredible day ahead. Of course, we'll be having the candid discussions that we always have. That is on matters governance, but then later on, we delve deep into enjoying the music of the day. So keep it right here and make sure that you call in, send those messages, drop those comments, and of course, tell us what it is that you want to, be played for. That is in terms of music, and the DJ will not disappoint. I'll be introducing him later. But before that, as always, we take a look at what is captured on the papers, what my team has prepared, and so much more. My name is Glinda Lela, and this is Morning Cafe. Karibu sana. Let's keep it going. Let's make sure that the day is interesting, not just for me, but equally for you back at home, because that is our core value. Remember, it's TV47, the home of Untold Stories. Untold stories in all quarters, matters, entertainment, the stories that, matter to you. We delve deep. We get to understand, and we bring professionals that take you through, and they tell you those things that you probably never imagined would be in existence. So let's do this and let's get to enjoy the day. What has been captured on the papers? Exactly right. What is behind me? The Daily Nation, the front page. Is this the end of Uhuruto? Do they probably need another handshake? That is what we'll be discussing this morning also, as we take a look at briefly the document that is in the BBI itself, and now the bill that is circulating around the different counties for approval. And indeed, President Kenyatta, he told elders or leaders to emulate Moi, who's, of course, was replicated from Kenyatta, or what exactly it is that he picked from his dad. Is it a polite way of sending a message to the DP that you probably are not doing what it is that you're supposed to do as a vice or as a deputy, so to speak? So things have never been the same since the March 2018 handshake with Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Those are claims from the quarters of the DP, but just how genuine and honest are these statements? Well, we can only wait and see. Another one that is on Mike Sonko is a story that we've been following up for the better part of the week. Sonko to spend 5 more days in cells. Embattled former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko will spend 5 more days in custody after 2 magistrates declined to give a decision on whether he would be freed. Captured on page 5 of this newspaper, that is the Daily Nation. We're looking at that Sonko was, even as it gets to unfold. And Ugandan Ogwen convicted by ICC. And so the Hague judges say prosecutors had proved 61 crimes against Ogwen, or Ongwen, so to speak, out of the 70 he was accused of committing. This is a story captured on 24. And questions continue to linger as to just how the ICC handles the cases of Africans. It has been said that they always treat African cases with some bit of biasness, in comparison to our bigger brothers. And of course, many have had conversations on whether, as Africa, the African countries that are in ICC should proceed to exit from this international court and away from it to a different story altogether. Kenya lost 330 million in football tourney scandal. That's another one. And this is not strange, because we've seen so much happening in the world of sports in the country in terms of the monies that are set and all that. So Kenya not only lost an opportunity to host a continental football tournament that is in 2019, but also hundreds of millions shillings in taxpayers' money. Of course, it has emerged, and Ministry of Sports officials yesterday said they paid about 330.5 million to a company that was to help with the preparations of the African Nations Champions, that is CHAN. Remember, this was scrapped or was taken away from us, but the firm closed shop almost immediately. So former sports principal secretary Kiremi Kaperia says the government cannot stress the owners of Auditel Engineering Service Limited. That's pretty much unfortunate indeed. A scandal that is here, and so much so in terms of trouble in the waiting. The Standard newspaper. And the Standard newspaper, 5th of February, exclusive Gisheru's 3 months in ICC detention, and for 93 days, lawyer brushed shoulders with world's most dangerous criminals. he is back to tell this story. That's a story captured on page 2. An interesting one. I'm sure you'd love to know as much as I would. So it is important that you grab your copy and get to see what this story speaks about, even as the ghost of ICC keeps lingering in the country. Now, away from it, auctioneers failed to get buyers for seized assets worth billions of shillings. That is on Matters Business, and is a story captured on the business part that is on page 36. And then the question is just how much, is money here up for grabs, or products that actually have been auctioned out here back up for grabs at a time when people continue to battle with the toughness of COVID. Evidently, not everyone would be excited about the deals that comes along with these auctioned products. And away from it, Uhuru's dismay at Ruto, that is, or Ruto's impatience at a memorial service to mark a year since Mzee Moi died. President Kenyatta condemns arrogance of leaders and calls for respect and humility. Secrets of Moi's interactions with leaders and family were revealed in this occurrence, a story captured on page 6, 7, and 8. Just a reminder, and as they have always told him, why don't you be like Moi? Why don't you be like Jaramogi Oginga Odinga? Exit the stage. I mean, you are not doing this right. So, well, we can only wait to see what reactions then will come out of that. That is on this, and of course, the front page of the People Daily. Briefly, here we are. DP to blame for Jubilee failures, not a president. That is according to Right Honorable Raila Odinga, something that has been castigated. The DP also has said he also is to blame because then they joined in the Jubilee Brigade and they have not brought anything good but destruction. And this is a story captured on page 7 of the People Daily. And tough measures on unrest from increasing the number of teachers on duty at any given time to the head teacher that is residing in school and prosecution of suspects. The Ministry of Education hope to rein in discipline and enhance security at the schools level. We know very well that the indiscipline cases have gone high and higher, which is something that has been questioned. And again, it's pretty much unfortunate to note that this is what is playing out in our schools and also in our home setups. But we dropped that one and it's captured on page 3. To this one, Ruto's loyalty in focus at Moi's event. Uhuru uses Kabarak memorial function to take a jab at his deputy for his apparent lack of humility and patience, saying that the late former president's rise to the top was occasioned by, of course, many years of humble service. A story captured on page 4. That is one that we'd love to hear the view of the panelists that I'll be having this morning. And also the Sonko saga continues, like I have said, also captured weird script of Sonko's rise and fall. Right here, he's still as a prisoner who rose to become a governor, has gone full circle with the current wars. That is at the edge right there, story captured on page 13. And Mwaura's date with JP bosses and turns chaotic. The disciplinary hearing ended up in a shouting match with claims of bias. That was also captured by my team, and we'll be looking at it extensively as we proceed. And so much so happening in terms of this, and of course we'll drop it at that, and we'll be looking at a different conversation altogether that is later on alongside my guests. And what is happening on the roads? Briefly, what is happening on the roads before I give you the quote of the day and also the stories that have been prepared by my team. Not so much in terms of, what would cause us worry. And we start off from where exactly it is that we are. That is somewhere around Parklands area, Westlands area. Here we are, right from Westlands, and you can see that it's all green. So around these areas, no cause for alarm in terms of traffic, apart from this bit where there's a bit of roadworks, and that is on Wayaki Way, and you find some bit of a snarl up, but then again, it's not so bad. It is moving, as you can see, and then gets to this point around ABC Place, and around ABC Place, as you want to connect to James Gishuru and proceed to Wayaki Way, you find some bit of a snarl up right there, but then again, it is not so bad. It is moving and taking us to a different direction altogether, going all the way down to Kangemi, to Kaptagat Road, and these other bits. it is evidently not so bad, and so we drop at this bit of Kawangware. What is happening around there? That is James Gishuru down. That is Naivasha Road, around Gitanga Road. As you headed to Kawangware, you realize there's not so much. There's a bit of traffic around Naivasha Road, but it is equally not so heavy as you can see down there, and so there's no cause for alarm. And somewhere around here, that is Mashari Road, this side of Kawangware, you find some bit of traffic. In most cases, there's always traffic here because of matatus coming to drop passengers, and also the other way around, and so that one is some bit of traffic, and this should be Gitanga Road. But going down to this side as you're coming from town, Gitanga Road is not so bad. Around Fogo Gaucho, Kilimani, that is where it is. It's not so bad around these areas of Kilileshwa. Equally, traffic is not so ugly. And let's get us to a different, this is around Yaya Center. You find that there's not much of traffic, and we're falling around Gong Road. Gong Road is not so bad this morning from these sides of, after connecting to Naivasha Road and coming down from Impala all the way down. There's not much of traffic as you're headed to town, or even as you're coming to town from Gong Road. This is around Uhuru Park. And so as you're getting a Uhuru Highway, there's really not much trouble on this particular road. Let's go down a bit to the sides of Lusaka Road. Lusaka Road this morning is around here, not so much of traffic. And Lusaka Road, as you come to connect to these sides of Nairobi West, that is as you get to Mbagathi Way and Langata around the airport there, not so much of traffic, though some bit of roadworks around Mbagathi Way there. But then again, Riara University somewhere there up, not so much of traffic as you get to connect to Gong Road again. And down on this other side on Langata Road, this is Langata Road. Langata Road is pretty much of an ease this morning, so no need to worry when you're taking Langata Road. A bit of what is happening on the southern bypass. Here is the southern bypass, and going down, no traffic, completely no traffic at that bit. And as you come to connect to Mombasa Road is where now you get to experience some bit of traffic all the way from this connection around Supanari there, coming up down to the Capital Center. You find traffic around the Capital Center, but well, then again it comes and eases up going down as you come to connect to the roundabout, the stadium roundabout, and then you get to connect to Langata Road and Lusaka Road. That's where you find some bit of traffic, but then proceeding to town, it is not so bad this morning. A different direction, this is Ring Road. Ring Road is not bad. We've said that's Jogoo Road. Here we are at Jogoo Road. Yes, a bit of traffic somewhere around Makadara there and Botella as you headed to town. So when you're taking Jogoo Road, you expect to be delayed a bit because of this traffic, but then again, it is not so bad. So this one then drops us at around Outer Ring. What is happening on Outer Ring Road? Outer Ring Road, from this bit of Embakasi going down, you find some places where you get some tenets of traffic, but they are not that bad, so you also get easing up. This is as you headed to this side of Embakasi, and also as you stop proceeding to Thika Road, you find that there's some bit of traffic somewhere around there, this side of Lumumba, and connecting to the likes of Don Home to as you headed to Greenspan Mall, you find traffic there, but it is not so heavy. The movement is not so bad, and this is our Outer Ring Road. We proceed with Outer Ring Road even as we try to get to Thika Road, but on this other side, Kangundo Road is pretty much of an ease, so you need not to worry if you're taking that direction, connecting to Juja Road and these sides of Komarok, pretty much of an ease. And yes, I want us to get to Thika Road. Yes, here we are at Thika Road. Thika Road is not beautiful at all, and so this is somewhere around Garden City there where you find Quiver Lounge. As you headed to town, you can tell there's traffic that is mounting there and going all the way. Again, it eases up, gets to this point of driving, then some bit of traffic again, and then you proceed to this sides of Survey, that is Madhare Mental or Hospital around Muthaiga. It is extremely heavy. This is around it. You can see it is extremely heavy as you're trying to get yourself to the city around Pangani Place Apartments. It is so heavy. So if you're taking Thika Road, then you know what it is that you expect this morning. It doesn't look that good, especially for the people who are proceeding to town. But all the same, it is important that you step out as early as now if you want to get to your destination on time. I guess those are the key roads that we'd want to, focus on. Limuru Road is not bad. bad. Muthaiga Road is equally not so bad this morning. In the event that there's much that we might need to update you on, then I'll be here to ensure you get all this information. And as we drop on the traffic and briefly look at what it is that my team has prepared, and then we'll be delving deep into the papers. I can see my guest is already on standby, but first let's pick this. But before we even get to the papers, yes, important that we give you that morale for the day, and that is on the quote of the day.
Quote of the day: no one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. Quote of the day: no one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers.
And now to the stories of the day. And President Uhuru Kenyatta joined the family, friends and relatives of Kenya's second president Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi for a remembrance service to mark 1 year since he passed on. Now Uhuru rallied leaders to observe mutual respect among each other, as well as cautioning Kenyans against leaders who he said would bring the country down, wasting away many years of building the nation, as MWANGI tells us.
A year since the death of Kenya's second and longest-serving president Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, President Uhuru Kenyatta led the family, relatives and friends in a remembrance service in honor of Mzee Moi, 1 year on since he passed on a day like today. President Kenyatta remembered Moi as a charismatic leader, full of respect and patience, who had a great strength of character. President Kenyatta says Moi was not only Kenya's president, but a father to many and a father to the nation.
Heshima sio utumwa. Mzee Moi alikuwa mtu wa heshima. Alitumikia mzee wangu miaka 17 kwa heshima kubwa sana sana, mpaka wakati wake ukafika. Akaendelea kuongoza wa Kenya kwa heshima kwa miaka 24 na akawacha na heshima.
A tough-talking President Uhuru Kenyatta cautioning politicians throwing tirades right, left and center. President Kenyatta says respect is paramount and the basis of politics should be built upon a rock of respect, as President Moi advocated.
Sisi tutawachilia tuweke wengine wakuja na waongeze, so that our house called Kenya, standing on a firm foundation, continues to grow and prosper. Wenzangu, tusiteleze, tulete demolition squad badala ya wajenzi.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Oh yeah.
Moi's philosophy of peace, love and unity took the center stage at the memorial service, with every leader who stood up to speak, advocating for peace and unity during this period of high-octane politics as the country heads to the polls next year.
Let's move away from the culture of abusing. Let us follow the tenets of Chapter 6 of our Constitution on matters of integrity. Every single word we say must be geared towards holding this country together, uniting the people of this country, and taking this country to the next better level.
Politics of hustlers and dynasties were rebuked, with Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka warning Deputy President William Ruto against propagating class wars. Other leaders condemned the divisive politics as they pose a risk of intolerance as the country gears up to the polls next year.
Kwa hivyo mimi ningekuwa ndugu William Ruto, ningemheshimu sana Rais Moi because he made you who you are today. Lazima tuseme ukweli huu. Kwa sasa kama unashambulia kusema familia ya Moi ni dynasty, wewe ulikuwa uko ndani. In effect, you are more of a son than Gideon, if I remember.
Let us not allow the introduction of divisive politics, where instead of you telling us how we can all live together, we now come and say it is this versus this. And that is the end of a country, I can assure you.
President Moi has been remembered as a cheerful leader, a religious man who was at ease with everybody in the country. Kenyans have been asked to emulate Mzee Moi as well as maintain peace as the best form of remembrance.
Wakati mimi nilichukua usukani mwaka wa 2013, nilikuwa na shida sana kuja hapa, kwa sababu mzee lazima nikiingia asimame aseme karibu mheshimiwa rais. Sasa mimi namwambia mzee, hapana, siwezi. Hivyo sivyo mambo inaenda. Sasa wewe ndio uko na serikali, wewe ndio kiongozi, hata mimi lazima nikuheshimu.
Mama wa Kenya hii wanataka umoja. Wamama wa Kenya hii wanataka amani. Kwa sababu pasipo amani, sisi akina mama na watoto wetu ndio tunaumia. Nyinyi wanaume hamko, mumeenda vitani, sisi ndio tunakosa chakula, tunabebana na watoto mikongo kwa hata mbele ya tumbo. Wanaume wameenda, sisi ndio tunaumia.
Mzee Moi passed on aged 95 after a period of long illness associated with old age. MWANGI Maina, TV 47, Nairobi.
This is my story. This is my song.
Tomorrow, Deputy President William Ruto's 5-day tour at the coast kicked off Thursday in Lunga Kwale County, with the second in command drumming up support for his presidential bid in next year's general elections. Ruto, who also tore into ODM party leader Raila Odinga, was accompanied by legislatures Aisha Jumwa, Muhammad Ali and Khatib Mashitwani. That is as David Muthuka reports.
With next year's general elections fast approaching, Deputy President William Ruto's coastal tour to drum up support for his hustler narrative kicked off Thursday. Speaking in Lunga constituency in Kwale County, Ruto stated that his campaigns will be hell-bent on giving a voice to the ordinary citizen while fending off claims that his style of politics is divisive.
Hata wanipinge kiasi gani, mimi siwezi kurudi nyuma. Mimi siwezi mpaka Kenya hii iwe ni Kenya ya usawa.
Ruto further continued with his scathing attacks on his political nemesis, ODM party leader Raila Odinga, terming Odinga's handshake with his boss President Uhuru Kenyatta as the ultimate catalyst towards wars within the Jubilee party.
Mimi nilisikia ule jamaa wa kitendawili juzi anasema ati yeye hajakuja Jubilee, yeye si Jubilee, yeye hajafanya chochote Jubilee. Mimi nataka nimwambie my friend, tafuta watu wa kudanganya. Kuja kwako kwa Jubilee ndio imevunja chama ya Jubilee, mpaka leo Jubilee imesambaratika.
Other leaders allied to Ruto's Tanga faction and who had accompanied the second in command in Kwale further dismissed the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 while calling on county assemblies to shoot the report down. The BBI report has since been passed by the Siaya County Assembly and requires 23 endorsements from the remaining 46 counties for it to sail through.
Hatuwezi kila siku tunaimbishwa taarabu kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni na jamii na watu tu watatu ama wanne wanaotaka eti ni kupokezana. Leo ni mtoto wa huyu, kesho ni mtoto wa huyu. Inaregea tena nyuma hivyo. Kwani sisi tumezaa mapaka?
Dunia hii mpaka ujitume, hakuna endorsement sijui natoka mimi aingie nani. Jitume, mwananchi akuone, akuchague.
The leaders further maintaining confidence that the Hustler Brigade's bid for State House is unstoppable.
Tumeshajua mtu anayeweza kutembea na sisi na akatuokoa kama wapwani, si mwingine ni William Ruto. Jo, unasema unataka urais. Kwanza si uwe mwanamume kamili wa kutosha peke yako. Useme kwanza wewe umetoka kwenye mwapako wa Raila, ndio sasa umesimama kama mwanamume. Umeganga mari ndio tuambie maneno ya urais. Wewe mwenyewe uko chini ya makwapa, wewe wasema unataka urais. Baba akisema right nitakwenda right. Baba akisema no nitakwenda hivi. Kisha wasema unataka urais wewe.
Ruto is expected to rally support in Kilifi and Mombasa counties over the weekend, with his 5-day coastal itinerary also including inspection of constituency development fund projects in the region. David Mudhoka, TV47.
First, let's take a coming back to the scene.
Agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya, Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg. Where? Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living.
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
Strawberry farming and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health.
Finding our balance. Don't worry, you'll finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
Mwanzo wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense because alikuwa alikuwa tafuta place atawaka akifanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
You kitu ilisha also clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
You have chapa kawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe kuleta mandazi bro.
Mbona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi?
Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love.
When you're loved truly, every grain of your personality changes.
Ooh. A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday from agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya. Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg.
Where?
Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living,
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
strawberry farming, and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV 47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health.
Finding our balance. Don't worry, you'll finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
Mso wa kwanza alikaa ndani.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I already have my guests on standby and they will be helping me go through the newspapers before we deeply look at what it is that will be the conversation of the day. Indeed, a conversation that you do not want to miss out on. We always said it's important that we also look at the document that is in the BBI, and now, it's a whole different conversation because the main focus then would be the bill that is at the level of the counties, what it is that is being looked at the counties for the members of county assemblies to sail through or to quash. And so before we look at that, first I have my guests who are already on standby. They are always, I would call them my Friday panel, because it's always good to have them, and it's always a heated debate for that matter, and we'd love for you to be part and parcel of this conversation. Just how do you get to do that? Hashtag Morning Cafe at Linda_Lela at TV47KE. This guest, none other than PMG Kamau, who's a governance expert, and we also have MWANGI, who's equally a governance expert. And so we will be looking at that as we proceed with the conversation, as of course there's so much to look at. What do we have? Let's take a look at what it is that has been captured on the papers. I don't know why we decided just to lose this. Mr. Marcus tampered with my page, but all the same we'll get it. Just a moment, gentlemen, so we try and get this. But meanwhile, you can say hi to the people, gentlemen. Julius, we start with you.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Leader. I want to thank you for having me today.
Yes.
It's a very good morning, actually. This week has been quite busy for many of us, and we thank God that He has really kept us safe, and at least now we can say we are moving on very well. I think I just want to take this opportunity to say hi to our viewers and welcome you to this morning show. And I'm sure through our discussion we are going to help each other, at least shape the, guide each other in terms of how our nation is being managed, and we shall really be in a position to see the right.
Yes.
Because I know Kenyans are really waiting, are really confused because of the ongoings in the nation, especially in matters of politics and governance. So I'm sure by the end of this discussion, we are going to have a way, a better way of understanding the situations in our country.
Indeed, and I have my papers ready, but not before I allow Senior to say hi to the people. What was Sauti?
I greet in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ every single person in the diaspora who is watching the fastest growing TV station.
Thank you.
T47.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, TV47. The people from Kandara, where I was born and brought up, we thank God that they are rocking their countries in Britain and everywhere else, and coronavirus in Kenya is going down every day. We thank the Lord because it is not that we are more obedient in terms of a protocol than any other, but it's simply because God loves us. Do not be proud about anything else, but God loves the African. I thank you. You pray that this country is gain sanity, the politicians gain sanity, because we are going to look like people. When people fight in a funeral service, then the devil is getting control.
Yeah. And of course, we will condemn that in the strongest terms possible. We have, and we continue to condemn the same, because indeed it is not a good thing to see. And as we look at the papers now, so much is happening in the world of politics. Looks like President Uhuru Kenyatta is now out here behind a cause against his DP, who's out there at the coast, politicking and also trying to sell his agenda to the people of the coast. But yesterday, in President Moise, that is the former president, may his soul rest in eternal peace, a memorial service, President Uhuru Kenyatta came out guns blazing, in a polite way, reminding the people of how Moi was quite a good leader, serving the nation and serving his own father, with utmost of discipline, which probably could contradict what it is that is happening right here between him and his DP. He says, is this the end of Uruto? This is what the Daily Nation is asking. President Kenyatta told leaders to emulate Moi, who as vice president respected Kenyatta, has said it's time for other communities to lead again, is campaigning for BBI law reforms alongside Mr. Odinga. And Deputy President William Ruto skipped yesterday's Kabarak function, saying he wasn't invited. And he said leadership is not about communities, but individuals, and BBI is not a priority and is also not in Jubilee Party's manifesto. Gentlemen.
Yeah, Linda, maybe allow me to maybe say a word about the same.
Yes.
You see, as they say that it's like the end of the Uruto. To me, I feel like this end actually came immediately after the 2018 handshake, because ever since the handshake, we've seen things moving from bad to worse in terms of relationship between the Uhuru and Ruto, and I don't think this the cause of the problem is actually not on the side of Ruto. To me, I feel like it is a decision that was made by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handlers, and they felt maybe uncomfortable to have Ruto, especially in terms of succession, because you know very well that from the time they started the handshake, the original handshake was between Uhuru and William Ruto. And when they had the handshake in Nakuru, they agreed that they are going to have an agenda to move this country forward.
Yes.
And they agreed that one of the main agenda will be ensuring that there is peace in the whole nation. So when you see what has been happening from the 2017 general election, you feel like somebody somewhere betrayed the other. And it is obvious because, you know, I don't think this is a plan. This did not happen by coincidence. I think this must have been a plan by the so-called systems. You know, they always like talking about the system and deep state because they are always ahead of the Kenyans in terms of planning. Like when if you go back to the year 2002 when we had President Kibaki, Uhuru Kenyatta vying against Mwai Kibaki. Right. The so-called deep state and the system knew very well when they are introducing Uhuru Kenyatta, they were preparing him. They knew he might not win, but it's like they are preparing him for succession in 2000 after Kibaki now. Now when they were bringing Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013. The succession plan was very clear. Yes. And from where I sit, I feel like they had a candidate in mind who was not William Ruto. Unfortunately, some of these games were that happened in the year 2017 general election, where you see some leaders, some people who are alleged to be the projects of the deep state. An example of Peter Kenneth, who was introduced into presidential race in 2013. Was unable to capture the gubernatorial seat in Nairobi. Okay. Which I think that is, if I look at the game plan, it's like they were trying to prepare him to come and serve in the national platform.
Well, hold it right there, and let's loop in PMG. PMG. Interesting to note that you know, there is this argument that is rife that probably all this was played so that DP Ruto can be barred from proceeding or ascending to presidency. But you've been here long enough, I'd want to believe, during the Moi reign and the Kenyatta reign, the senior Kenyatta reign, and how they worked with President Moi. While it could be true that there is the hand of the deep state, as they call it, do you agree with the sentiments of President Uhuru Kenyatta in terms of how Moi handled his leader then, handled the issues of the country then, in comparison to how the DP is doing it today?
Let me first of all warn Kenyans that are listening to me. There haven't been any single president who have determined the successor in the history of Kenya. Kenyatta did not. Okay. In fact, the opportunity Moi got was that he went into the office after death. Yes. And that was able to manipulate and took care of himself together with Jojo in the 3 months period. So it is nonsense to continue talking about Uhuru trying to determine who is going to become. Because even Kibaki did not. Kibaki was floating Mudavadi. You remember when Uhuru Kenyatta went to Kasarani and said Satani amekuja. Kuna shetani alikuwa amekuja. When he was persuaded not to step down for Mudavadi. So I am saying people must, we are part of history.
Neither did Moi himself do that. He wasn't successful. He fronted Kenyatta. But
and when Kenyatta rejected, Kikuyus rejected Kenyatta. Yes. And Moi realized that until he almost gave up the campaigns. At one time he went into Machakos. He was almost heckled. So that and I am happy for the statement made by by Ruto. At one time, Ruto said, I don't want somebody's support. At another time, he was told by Kavogo, hakuna mtu atakupatia kiti nyumbani, ondoka ukatafute kiti. You see what I'm talking about? So that Kenyans want our children, our scholars, our university students to believe that any president can create another president. That's a mistake. Okay. Number 2, handshake was rejected. The first day, I personally rejected it. Okay. When it was done on 9th March, 10th I was in one of the stations. I said, hii kitu itatoka hapa, hatuwezi kunyonyesha. But you know the Kikuyu say, whatever will come, we will circle. But I told people the thing that is going to come out of this handshake
will not be able to.
Yes, and I also said managing the expectations. Uhuru and Raila must manage the expectations, the outcome.
Yes.
What was the Karajians expecting of the handshake? What were the Ruas expecting? What were the Kikuyus expecting? And the management of that, we have not seen it. All what we have seen is a creation of a situation and circumstances that are going to make 2022 a level playing ground. Let me tell you something, madam, which I'm never afraid of saying. Ruto is likely to benefit from BBI than anybody else.
Oh yeah?
Ruto is likely to benefit from the structure of government than anybody else.
But why would
Let
he
me tell you
counter
something.
that?
Let me tell you.
He does not have advisors that can...
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Right now, he can only offer another community deputy president.
Okay.
If he chooses, and if BBI passes, Ruto will be able to offer maybe Western deputy, maybe Coast Prime Minister, maybe Ukabani deputy prime. Let me tell you, the structure is supposed. In fact, if you ask me, he may become stronger than even Raila. Watch nonsense that is being.
Now, in this case, as president?
As president, yes.
But just how powerful will
number
that
one,
be then?
He's not being stopped from vying for the presidency.
Yes.
Number two, he's not being stopped from using the BBI results. Let me tell you, both of them, Raila and Ruto,
are likely to benefit.
will have very difficult time to fight each other.
Okay.
And I am predicting you may end up having a rerun.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
That is after a referendum?
There is nothing in the BBI that disadvantages Ruto. Let us not cheat our people, continue cheating our people, and going all over and creating tension and also misleading the public on the ground. It's a very big mistake.
Acknowledging this, do you suppose then that
what I'm saying, you rejected BBI.
Yes.
And I complain heavily to the Central Kenya politicians who did not participate in the BBI. Because maybe they could have influenced the outcome. Number two, BBI now was transformed into Bomas 1. It went for validation. The validified BBI came back in October. Then it was released now for constitutional process to start. They have continued fighting BBI, not fighting the content. I am looking at the primary school debate. Proposers and opposers. You remember the debates we used to be in?
Yes.
That is when we started with BBI. Proposers and
opposers.
Yeah. Then we graduated a little bit to the secondary school debate. You see? Yeah. Where we used to do compensation. We used to say compare and contrast. We are now heading to university debate. Critical
thinking.
Yeah. Analyze critically. Philosophize critically. You see? Where are we right now? We are at a situation where issues must start being discussed. Immediately after the county governments, you have to analyze issue. And if you listen to Ruto yesterday, he has now coming up talking. He has almost stopped the Hasra Nation narrative. He's talking about issues. Yesterday he talked about where are we going to get extra money.
Yes. He's always been talking about that. Yes.
No, he came out for the first time.
For the first time, confidently
yesterday.
Of this. But then, of course, he's challenged the mechanisms before.
No, not mechanisms.
That are likely to.
And also, let me tell you, I have also talked to you about intellectual dishonesty and hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Because the current release of the government is about 30 for devolution.
Yes.
Towards counties. If they are, you listen to Kenyans, listening to people who don't want to think. You continue telling Kenyans, if we cannot give 15%,
how can we manage to give
35? Yet the country is giving over 30.
All right. Hold it right there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You come out to criticize what is in the Kenya Gazette. Last night I was looking at the Kenya Gazette of the rice distribution.
Yes.
And compared with the national, it was at 13%. There have never been 15%.
It's always 13.
Yes.
So, well, the biggest problem has been the delay of disbursement of this particular
Talk about
funds.
the delay,
but not focus much on the amount.
At the disbursement.
All right, hold it right there. Allow me to take a
That's
short
why
break
I'm
and then
saying
we'll come back
we
to
must
you after
we must
that.
say no to the intellectual dishonesty in this country,
After this
especially for
break.
young men who have gone to the university.
We're taking a short break and then we'll be coming back with more.
You are watching Agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya. Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg.
Where?
Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living,
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
strawberry farming, and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV 47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health.
Finding our balance. Don't worry, you'll finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
So wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa yeye alikuwa atafuta place atawaka akifanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha also ni clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
You have chapa kawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe hukuleta mandazi bro.
Umeona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi.
Aya!
Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love.
When you're loved truly, every grain of your personality changes.
A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday from agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya. Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg.
Where?
Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living,
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
strawberry farming, and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV 47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health.
Finding our balance. Don't worry, you'll finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
So wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa alikuwa atafuta place atawaka akifanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha also ni clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will
Yeah, we still are going on with the conversation, and we're back on air. Yes, BMJ, we still were discussing what it is that you see, right on the screens, and now we are on the papers. I think we have expounded some more on that. We've gotten the view of PMG and also Julius. And Julius, we come back to you and we just get briefly on this before we get into the topic of the day. I think it's only fair that we discuss this. Kenya lost 330 million in football Tony scandal, and I think it's technically what it is that the senior was talking about in regards to corruption and how best we can be able to deal with this. The Sonko saga is still ongoing, and so much so the coming in of the ICC and how it handles the African issues. I'll allow you to wind up on this one as we get to now delve into the conversation of the day.
Yeah, Linda, I want to say something about this thing. PMG has just talked about intellectual dishonesty, which I strongly support. Mm-hmm. And that is why I'm saying sometimes we don't have just to argue like we cannot be in a position to analyze the politics of the day in a good way, because you don't need to be a genius to know the motive or even the objective of this handshake. Right from the conception, the way they brought in the handshake, you realize that the same dishonesty is very evident, because after the general election we had issues or cases of violence in the country. The question is, what was the cause of the same? It's just because somebody somewhere could not agree with the institutions that have been given the mandate to conduct the election. So what you have seen is that instead of now the president now taking charge and making sure that the institutions that have been given the mandate of securing our nation take charge and secure the people's properties, what they have done, they have simply gone and looked for the brother, the big brother, Raila Odinga, had the handshake, without consulting anybody, including the running mates of themselves, then came up with the handshake. This handshake is now the one that has brought us to these problems of the BBI, because me, I take them like problems, because it has made this country go back now to a lot of noise.
Hold it right there. Why do you consider the BBI problem? And I have the constitutional amendment bill on screen that is now what is at the level of the counties, and the members of county assemblies are debating on. And I have the actual document, that is the report as presented to us sometimes in November. This is the actual report, and off air you have accepted the fact that the BBI holds positive things for the people of Kenya, 90% positive things and 10% that are not positive. Why then do you look at this document as trouble, yet it has 90% of positivity for us?
Okay, Linda, I want to be very clear. Of course, I did not say that on air, but I want to say it on here, that the recommendations given by the BBI in the BBI report, some of them are quite good. The problem I have is on the matters of how are we implementing these things. And then the challenge I have with this thing is that we are now dealing so hard, we are concentrating so much on the minor issues which do not necessarily have much benefit to actually have no benefits to the Kenyan. I'm trying to say that we need to focus on our JICO. Because if you look, for example, at the report, there are those recommendations about something like the Youth Commission. You see, the recommendation that we have a Youth Commission does not need to subject us to the referendum. And that is why we are saying such proposals, they need to be implemented even yesterday, without necessarily going to the referendum. And by the way, for your information, you need to remember that we already have what we call the National Youth Council in place. And I'm wondering, what is it that the National Youth Council cannot do if empowered, that needs us to go back now and bring the Youth Commission?
Okay.
I think the most important thing should be strengthening the already existing institutions. If you look at something like the moratorium for the youth about the help, you don't need to go to tell us that you need the BBI for us to implement that one. As we talk now, I saw in yesterday's papers, they are telling us about over 14 million youth are already in CLB and in huge debts. You have seen that even today's papers, they are talking about even the auctioneers are not able to sell their properties. Yes. Because the economic status of the Kenyans has worsened. So what we are trying to say is, we don't need to go all this route of BBI and referendum for us to ensure that we have and we empower the young people. All we need is to make sure that we implement what we already have. If you look at an example of the agriculture sector, which I've always been talking about, you know, some people are trying to lie to Kenyans that for us to have better pay for the tea, for the coffee, for the daily products and all that, we need to have BBI and to pass it in the referendum. To the contrary, I believe that is a total lie, because what we need is just to have legislative, we just need to take charge in terms of legislative moves. For example, what we have been seeing, we have seen members of parliament presenting what we call the GMR proposals in parliament. Instead of the principles of BBI pushing the members of parliament to push this, they are now bringing the referendum, the BBI referendum.
It is a constitutional process that want to assume.
No, but listen, Linda, here, you need to understand the difference between the BBI report and the BBI amendment bill.
Yes.
Because what we have been saying is good, part of it is the BBI report.
Yes.
Because it's the one that is giving us proposals.
But the amendment bill revolves around that.
The amendment bill is about dealing with those things that we are saying are not good in the BBI report.
Is it not about the constitutional process? And I mean, well, let's allow PMG.
What does the constitutional amendment bill talk about? One is about the executive. Kenyans are very bitter
No.
with expanding the...
I'm already...
Let's allow PMG to come. We have the bill right here, and we have it. It's about 45
We are going to talk
pages.
about it.
No, you know
we are going to talk
why we are
number one,
this amendment
Madam,
bill,
please.
The objective of
Let's
this...
allow, no. Let's allow PMG to come in because we have, so at least
one of the items in the 9-point agenda for the BBI was sharing of wealth and resources. Sharing of wealth and resources, the coffee industry came and complained. The avocado industry came and complained. The youth came and complained. The employed university graduates came and complained. The informal sector called HASA also came and complained. Where is it? That complaint was consolidated into policy. If you got the report of the BBI, you will meet policy on every single one of this. From policy now, it has come to the 11A. This is what Ruto was actually passionate about. In agriculture, why is it in the amendment bill? Because it came from the people. Why from the people? It will now, the debate in Parliament, the neighboring debates, if you look at the law there, 11A.
Yes.
At the bottom
11A, economy and shared prosperity.
Yes, that was an agenda in BBI.
Okay.
If you look down there, it says the necessary legislations to implement this shall be lead the final part there.
Parliament shall enact legislation to give full effect to this article.
Yes. So Parliament will not go and say we have created an agricultural act. Full stop. What will be the content of that agricultural act? SMEs. The Parliament will not sit down and say we have passed SMEs for Juakali. They will go back to the opinion of the people from the ground. What are the terms of reference for the Youth Commission? It is because there will be in every constituency and business incubation center. There will be in every constitution, in every constituency, entrepreneurship training. There will be in every constituency funds set aside. There will be in every constituency discovery of projects that can be done. That is the work. That is you.
But PMG, we have seen this also. We still have some of these that we're talking about.
They are not there,
but they have not been well implemented.
Let me tell you. Like now, do you know something? Just a moment. I have already filed a petition in Parliament myself. Yes. 15-point petition. One of the petitions I filed before the BBI on 2nd October is the creation of business village projects. That every project, why shouldn't we have a project in avocado? That is our undertaking in Kandara. Why should we have, we have got onions, we have got potatoes. I have already, in Parliament, I have already said, appeal to Parliament. They approve 1 trillion shillings to disburse to the youth in Kenya. My argument is and has been, why would you borrow to make roads and not to borrow? You see, that is a debate, not for the, but the creation and structures of that has to be created.
Now,
you see what I mean?
Yes.
You can
allow him to ask your question to you.
This is what I was now. I'm actually not able to understand from PMG and the proponents of BBI. I want somebody to tell me this. What is that in
not BBI? This is not BBI.
This is the bill that culminates from
yes.
Bill. I'm asking this.
Yeah.
You are answering a question before you listen to it. I'm saying this. What is that we have? What is the deficiency in our constitution that makes it hard for the current executive to implement that things like the youth incubation centers? What is that in the 2010 constitution that stops the president? Commissions are created in the constitution.
No. Yes. They are.
No, it doesn't have to be called commission. What is that is making the executive not empowered?
Let us go through the BBI. Because he's trying to divert.
No. Let's talk about this shared prosperity, Madam Leader.
Yes.
If you look at Article 11, the one that we have just talked about,
the
11A, that they want to add in the constitution. If you go to the actual constitution, the one we have 2010 constitution, Article 11 talks about culture, and it tells us that the parliament shall enact laws to ensure that communities get they get something from if you use the culture to market our country.
Okay.
A good example is Maasai community. We have been using the Yarigalians to market our country. The question is, it is now 10 years down the line.
This is economics, not culture. This is wealth.
That is just an example.
I'm giving an example of this Article 11.
Okay.
What our is, even if it has been put in the constitution that we need to give back to that community that we are using their culture to market our country, we still do not have.
I think in a nutshell, they have not as much.
Yes. Read,
so even this
report on BBI on shared resources there.
No,
before you do that, let us read what people said.
Yes.
Yeah.
On this one.
Yeah.
But even before we get there,
no.
But
Let us hear.
his main concern then would be, we already have the 2010 constitution.
He has not mentioned which section and which article.
I've talked about Article 11.
11.
Yes,
on
that's
culture.
the constitution.
But we are talking about
no.
It
is Article 11.
It's about the 2010 constitution, and he's equating that to this.
Read what the people said.
It is the Article 11.
He does not represent the people.
Article 11.
Read what the people said.
Article 11A is trying to amend the
Kenyans say.
we already have in the constitution.
What did the Kenyans say? You know, these people are pretending to be Kenyans.
The problem.
Read what Kenyans said.
But just how many Kenyans say that is one thing that needs to be asked.
Let him first of all. Let him first of all disagree with what you said.
So let BMG.
Let him first of all disagree with what people said about sharing of the wealth.
I'm one of the people who shared.
Then why don't you want us to read
the task force?
Why don't you want us to read?
You cannot read.
Why don't you want us to read first?
Allow us to have some order. Were the views incorporated that you presented?
Actually, most of them have not. And this is why I'm saying I have a problem with this document, because what we are saying, what we are doing now, we are trying to create, it's like creating a bridge where there is no river. Okay. Why are we talking about amending the constitution, yet what we need is full implementation of 2010 constitution? A very good example they are using, PMG and his team, they are telling us about creation of new constituencies.
Madam,
if you look at Article 89 of this constitution, of 2010 constitution,
of the current constitution,
it gives the IEBC mandate to review the boundaries.
It limits constitutions to 290.
Exactly.
They are limited in the constitution.
And there's need to expand some more.
To expand, you must remove that clause.
But just how much do we need the expansion? How much more? Julius, let me ask this question. How much more do we need then the expansion? And we look at this as though it's not.
That is why I'm saying the country,
the baggage that we keep talking about.
We will not go anywhere.
Let's allow PMG to talk.
We will not go anywhere.
Let's allow him to say.
Interjecting without giving me a chance.
Because you want to defeat reason and common sense.
Okay. And you want to run away from the
Let me tell you something. Number one.
Okay.
Read item 1 of the Constitution or the BBI. It talks about inclusivity.
Now this is now the report itself.
Yes. Read what did the people say about inclusivity. Yeah. Because you cannot talk about the BBI, this draft.
These are the proposed.
Yes. What do the people say?
Constitution reforms following the analysis. Chapter 2 Constitution.
You are talking also about the constitutional reforms.
Chapter 3 on citizenship to strengthen the national ethos by outlining the responsibilities of citizens. This is what it is supposed to do. Chapter 7 of representation of the people to resolve issues of divisive elections arising from electoral processes. The proposed amendments seek to enhance the transparency and fairness of representation during the electoral systems, reform the management structure on the Independent Elections and Boundaries Commission, promote electoral competition based on ideas, values, and our shared humanity, rather than the common enmity or identity politics that have denied our electoral process or cycles to date. Now, promote gender equity in governance and implementation of the provision of Article 81 and 89(7)(b) of the Constitution, which mandate that the electoral system is comply with the universal principles of fair representation, equality of the vote, and there are
fair representation.
Yes, fair representation for that matter. I'm just trying to pick bits by bits so that we do not waste so much time. And what else is there? That this is on the judiciary, 11 on devolved government. I guess that is more on what it is that the people would have loved for us to have.
Read the BBI, the draft bill.
The bill.
Yeah. Read citizen responsibility.
Yes, citizen responsibility is here. This constitution recognizes the responsibility of a citizen as key to building a prosperous, fair, and secure nation. Every citizen has a responsibility: 1, to cultivate national unity on the basis of respecting Kenya's ethnic, intellectual, economic, and cultural diversity; promote and protect the well-being of the family, including respect for their parents and elders; practice ethical conduct and combat corruption; fulfill parental responsibilities towards their children.
Stop there.
Okay.
Why is there a proposal that children respect their parents and elders?
An elder should fulfill their responsibilities
because in the BBI, there was citizen responsibility. The children have become so irresponsible, parents the same. So in that citizen responsibility, you find in the constitution, there will be you as a parent, compulsory responsibility.
Okay.
And then there will be you as a child, your citizen responsibility. And that is where we went back to African traditions, respect of the parents, and you see what I mean? Yeah.
So in this case, all right.
Because when you read that now, citizen responsibility, and you go to the report, you find what people are concerned with. They are concerned that
cemented.
They are concerned that our children are now on drugs. They are concerned that our children are now in Changa. They are concerned that the children are killing their mothers and what have you. They are concerned at the decay of the family.
The moral of the family.
That one came from the public representation.
So now, Linda,
is that in the old constitution?
Ideas now.
That has not been cemented in the previous one.
No.
Let me.
So the BBI in this case is coming in to cement what it is.
I am asking myself.
Just how much more would it be?
Now I'm asking myself, if I'll be a member of parliament, making the law for children to respect their, what would I be looking at? What will be the question of abusing your mother?
What will back up the...
Yes. That will be depend on the capacity of the MP you take to parliament.
Okay, now let's go to more pressing matters.
Yes.
And that is not pressing matter.
And I hope he gives
drugs addiction.
Now, Madam Leader.
Yes.
I want you to look at the Constitution, Article 89, the one that I've just talked about before I was rudely interrupted.
Okay.
If you look at Article 89 of the Constitution, 1, tells us about the number of constituencies we must have in Kenya.
Yes.
290 constituencies.
Not one extra.
The reason why the Constitution had limited that number to 290 constituencies, they were trying to cure the problem we used to have during the Moi era, when the president would wake up one day and say that I've given you another constituency. Like it happened in Murang'a one time, when Michuki and Kamotho were fighting, Daniel Moi went and divided Kagema into two, Mathioe and Kangema. So with our 2010 constitution, they have made sure that they have Article 89 of the constitution.
Yeah. It remains to 290.
What they have simply done, they have made sure that they are shielding Kenyans from the bloating of the parliament, which increases the wage bill.
Yes.
On the other hand. So then it goes ahead and talks about the universal suffrage, about the equal representation, equality of votes. If you go to the Constitution, it tells us very clearly about the principle of universal suffrage, which talks about the equality of vote. And that is why it goes ahead and gives mandate to IEBC.
Let me read that one.
Yes.
89.2. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall review the names and boundaries of constituencies at intervals of not less than 80 years and not more than 12 years.
Yes.
But any review shall be completed at least 12 months before the general election of members of parliament.
So that tells you this.
Let me tell you something.
No,
just a moment.
This tells you, let me finish. That tells you that we don't need to go for referendum to increase the number of constituencies.
Next time, madam,
because
you will give us
the
minutes.
Constitution is actually,
you give me 5 minutes, I talk, then you give 5 minutes.
From expanding from increasing the number of constituencies.
Back to Article 89.1, there shall be 290 constituencies for the purposes of the election of the members of the National Assembly.
What is in the
provided for Article 97.
What is in the BBI?
You have to make it brief.
You have also to
listen. The reason why we are being told that we need to increase, to add 70 constituencies, especially in Mount Kenya, we are being told it's because we want to increase the amount of the amount that
Madam, we are now debating the bill.
Given the mandate.
We are debating the content.
Has been given the mandate to change
and
the
he has not.
So even the constituencies like we have in Mandela, which have
now,
so that
please,
can come in.
even those constituencies,
they will have to. Would you keep quiet, my friend?
But now wait a minute.
Yes.
So
number one, madam,
what we need to change is
read the constitution.
What we need to change.
Read the constitution.
Gentlemen, we might not be able to achieve.
That's why I'm saying, because he doesn't want us.
That we're going to take.
What we need
you have to make it.
This is a taka group. We don't want reason.
When we have a role of noise here.
All right. Wait a minute. Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Because the conversation is here with us.
Yeah.
PNG argues that we are looking at the BBI report. But we cannot look at the BBI report without referring to the Constitution.
And
just a moment.
Let him come.
Just a moment.
But then you have
let him come in.
My friend,
you have to give me time as I am giving.
Who told you that shouting at me you are going to get credit anywhere?
That is why I can't
and you cannot going to get marks from the people.
It's exactly 7:30, so I'm afraid we might have to close the show.
Number one.
All right.
The Constitution has not given the remit of people. You see, Roiro has got 200,000 voters. And it is one constituency.
Sorry.
The electoral boundaries may expand or reduce boundaries.
Yes.
But the Constitution never gave remit. That's why you see a constitution with 20,000 voters and another one with 200. The new constitution now, amendment, the remit of any constituency shall be 135. That is why in Kandara we have got 100,000 votes, but we could not make an extra constituency. Any constituency in Kenya that had less than 135,000 people was disqualified. The 135 voters could not acquire. The remit now is that for you to get an extra constituency, you must be more than 135,000.
And that in that case, then we'll have even more and more cropping up because whatever it is, and you've seen some leaders complaining that this is happening on this side.
You see
why is it not happening on our side?
Let me tell you. Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
The argument in the BBI is that the constituencies that are even 20,000, like Duare's constituency, they are not going to be reduced because that will create constitutional chaos. But from now on, let us remit. Immediately you exceed 135. Then
you get a new one.
Yes.
Then what happens?
That remit, just a moment, that remit was never provided for. That's why Moi was able to create constituencies left, right, and center. The complaint was from the public in Roiro. We have got so many people in Roiro, yet our budget is 100,000 million.
But even with this budget, we lack accountability.
The problem, accountability.
Now that will be counted on what it is that you speak of addressing corruption.
Let me ask you something. Do you know something?
Yes.
Uhuru has got only 1/4 of this government.
Yes.
Number one, Moi government has never gone away. He recruited succession principles. To date, we still have people. Please. You must. I will go out.
Make it brief.
Let me tell you, Moi left his legacy and people. Kibaki left his legacy and people. Raila, during the coalition government,
also did the same.
Yeah, did the same.
Yes.
Ruto has got half of the government. In fact, half of the 11 ministries are made up of Kalenjins.
So in this case,
that
then,
you see, if you own 11 ministries, then the directors, even the sweepers, go to any ministry in this country. Even drivers belong to a tribe. That's why I'm saying Uhuru has got no control of what belongs to Ruto and has no control what belongs to.
And so you think the BBI will bring control to the next?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
A system of accountability, which is, if you read citizens' responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you go to chapter on corruption, yeah, it has given measures.
Honestly declare their incomes to lawful agencies and pay prescribed taxes and duties, respect private property and protect public property, promote the unity and dignity of Africa. The responsibilities set out in clause apply equally, that is in clause 2, where appropriate to non-citizens. I think that's a bit different on matters. Corruption is a bit right on top.
Yes.
But then again, time would not allow us to go through
and
that.
Then
Bill next
you
Friday.
move to this bill. Yeah.
Yes.
Item 50.
No, leader, I think...
Just go to item 50.
But allow him to say something meanwhile as we go to item 50, yes.
Exactly what you are seeing here is what will happen after we pass the BBI. Even if you hear we are being promised to youth commission, Wazes will never allow us to even make point. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying.
Wazes see far than young men on the top of the trees.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, Madam Leader understands something here. Let us make people understand. Because when we shout, sometimes we don't make the point.
Just go to item 50.
When we talk
Read
about...
the whole of item 50.
Let's allow him to finish and then we come to item 50, yes.
Can I proceed now?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm saying, when we are talking about increasing representation, when we have that mandate by IBC to review the boundaries, it will not be limited to only the constituencies with huge population. Even those with less population, because you remember when they are doing the boundaries in those years,
the boundaries will be limited to 135.
They use the census.
They will not
allow
do
him
it.
to speak. PMG, we have to have order. Yes.
Can I proceed now?
Yes, please, and make it brief.
I told you they have not read the BBI.
Every time I'm talking, you are telling me to make
they
it
talk
brief
with me without reading the BBI.
PMG.
Okay, let me go back.
Allow him to.
To what I was saying. When we are talking about the boundaries, what I was saying is 2009 census was used to create these boundaries. And that 2009 census was manipulated by the minister and the team who were there. And that was Iwikri for Paranya, under the leadership of Raila Odinga. Now, the constitution, the census that we are supposed to use should be the recent one.
Yes.
So it means when we are doing the review of the boundaries, it simply means those boundaries, those constituencies with less population will still be protected, but the boundaries will change. It will increase. What I'm saying is, we are being hoodwinked when we are being told that our additional constituencies will add something to us.
Okay.
Because remember, national government CDF is not in the constitution.
It is already.
It has
read Article 89A.
It has been.
It is. Read there. It is already there. CDF.
You will have your time.
It is constitutionalized.
No wonder you don't get votes in Kadara. I'm saying this. You know,
because I have got my mind
is right there.
I'm saying
okay, well, this.
Listen here, Madam Leader. I'm saying the National Government Constituency Development Fund is not anchored in the Constitution.
But
it
then
has
again,
not even been.
It is here.
It
is now here.
No, we're not talking about this. He's talking about the 2010. He's talking about the 2010
Even in the BBI, it has not been anchored in the Constitution.
I am saying, read 50 from 203
this is
to
50
207.
You
to 207 because it is there.
This is 50 on corruption.
Yes.
And this is
read
the
there.
Amendment bill.
Article just read.
Constitution. But his argument is contrary to what it is that is incorporated on this.
Read
and
the whole of
the
it.
Constitution Amendment in clause 1 by inserting that is Article 2 or 3 of the Constitution is amended. In clause 1 by inserting the following new paragraphs immediately after paragraph K. And now, 1, the need to eradicate corrupt practices and wastage of public resources. The need to ensure that attainment of the economic and social rights guaranteed under Article 43.
Now, read now.
The average amount of money allocated per person to a county with the highest allocation does not do what? Exceed 3 times the average amount
that is one sharing
with the allocation or the lowest allocation.
Go on down.
He was reading that to
go down.
To counter.
Go down there.
I have a right of reply, my friend.
There is 207 there.
206 is here.
Read 206.
Article 207 of the Constitution is amended by inserting the words a county assembly fund and immediately after the words the establishment of. The Constitution is amended by inserting the following new articles immediately after Article 207. And these ones are being talked about. What Development Fund.
Now,
yes.
Go down.
You want us to discuss CDF?
Yeah.
Are you going as per PMT?
Not as per PMT,
by the bill.
And I'm really
We have to counter this.
I'm telling you already, the CDF was never in the Constitution. Now it is in the Constitution. I talked about intellectual dishonesty and abortion. Why doesn't it? Constitution?
Wait a minute. Have you gone through this document?
Exactly.
Have you gone through it?
Even now, you have gone through it, isn't it?
We're still going through it.
CDF is there.
Have you?
CDF is there.
Where?
It is there. Go down there.
Have you gone through this document?
Yes, and
I'm telling you, CDF is there.
Provide for national government constituency development.
It is there.
Hold it right there, gentlemen.
We have tried to look for it.
I will allow everyone to go through this document, read this document, and then we come back with the conversation. Come on Friday.
But we cannot. I have read.
But we cannot come.
I have read. That's why I'm telling you.
Gentlemen, time is not on our side.
No way I can come and to
you cannot continue. You are shouting Kenyans. You are telling people hustlers and you are misleading Kenyans.
Gentlemen, we cannot continue with this conversation. Sadly, because we do not allow ourselves to have a proper conversation. Remember, the people are watching, and we are here to enlighten them. So if we have to proceed with this, and that should be on Friday, we need to have order next time.
And then we open.
But let's conclude.
And yes, we did.
Let's conclude.
Why is he not willing us
We're going through this. It is there, and we're going to look at it next Friday.
The fact of the matter is,
thank you, gentlemen. PMG and Julius NJUGUNA.
It seems like
PMG and Julius NJUGUNA. Yes, we take a different conversation altogether. We lighten up the mood. The DJ is on standby, and you can be rest assured that next week we'll come back with more and more of these facts after this break.
You are watching TV. Agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya. Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg.
Where?
Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living.
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
Strawberry farming and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV 47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health and foes in equal measure.
You finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
So wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa alikuwa atafuta place atawaka akifanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha waswali clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
You have chapa kawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe kuleta mandazi bro.
Umeona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi. Aya!
Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love. Plania Siri at 8 p.m.
Every grain of your personality changes.
A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday from agriculture being the engine of economic growth in Kenya. Richer Fields aims to educate, entertain, and take you round the world of rich fields when it comes to matters agriculture and agribusiness.
It's 800 shillings per kg.
Where?
Almost 100% profit.
We take you to the world of organic living.
Some people say organic is boring. It's actually not boring.
Strawberry farming and so much more. Richer Fields coming soon on TV 47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pain, discomfort, and sleepless nights. These are just but a few of the things we go through on a daily that deteriorate our health. Body Garage is here to remind you on how to love and care for your body's health.
Finding our balance. Don't worry, you'll finally come back again.
Self-care and love is the best gift you can give. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
So wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa alikuwa tafuta place atawaka akifanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha waswali clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
Chapa kahawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe kuleta mandazi bro.
Umeona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi nyingine.
Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love.
When you're loved truly, every grain of your personality changes.
A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday